Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Memory of a Dream, and I bid you welcome to another Let's Play City Skylines 2. In the past, when playing a City Skylines game, I used to create my own map based on a real-world geographical location, but since the editors aren't available for us, I shall go with the Windy Fjords map delivered with the base game. These, as far as I know, are already based on real-world locations. So this is a Southern Hemisphere map. It has a North American theme on it. I'm going to switch that to European because I like the aspect of European cities more, and just keep everything else the same. So here we see that we have a very small buildable area. We have a Southern Hemisphere map with a temperate climate and all the kind of connections we desire. So without further ado, let's get into it. And here we are, in our little secluded valley, in the mountains, next to some very beautiful fjords. One feature missing in this game, which I would like to see added later, would be the ability to add names to terrain features such as hills, mountains, lakes, or valleys. This is because in real life, name of a town or a village would often derive from the name of such geographical characteristics. And in that spirit, and keeping with the name of the channel, we shall try to name a few of these features. So here, between these peaks, we have the Lake of Memories, and flowing from it to the sea, we have the Valley of Dreams. And in the keeping this in mind, we would name our city, which has the default name of Chepstow, to Dreamveil. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the city of Dreamveil. Now, the developers were kind enough to give us the start of a grid here in the city, but I'm not gonna have any of that. While a grid might be desirable in some locations, I would like to have a more naturally looking settlement that's developed according to the lay of the land. And we can see that the grid wasn't terrible in this location, but from here to here is already a 7% grade, which is kind of terrible to build a grid on. As a rule, I'd like to keep my grades below 7%. And this idea, I'm going to start developing the town on this cliffside over here. So, first of all, we would like to have a road that's I didn't want to do that. That's quietly following the cliffside. I keep the grades under 7%, if at all possible. Here we're going to follow this contour line inland and just hug the base of this mountain over here. until we get to this place where the valley narrows down a bit, so we won't be able to build much. And then just add another road to the side of the cliff. It slowly meanders through our community. I don't want to build on the side of the cliff here. You see that I'm pretty close. Don't want to build very huge houses up there. And as a matter of fact, I might even take this road a bit back, so as to give us like a size 3 or 4 to the size of the grid. That's decent. That's decent. I don't want very large villas over here. Add another road here to break up the grid a bit. Oh, this is not a grid. And then we shall see how this road flows in. Normally this will flow into our community, I think, at the lower grade than this. I'm going to attempt to redraw it, somewhat following the contour lines. And right here I'm going to angle this road a bit to the right. This is for a very specific reason, because we're going to need a water pump, and I plan to take the water from this stream down here. And to get to that stream, we're going to need to get a road that's going down this way. So I'm going to place the water pump right over here at the base of this cliff in this small basin. And now let's try to get a road up there, keeping in mind that we don't want very steep inclines. So something I hate about this game is that it hides the inclines behind other information. Sometimes I feel it's the last thing the game wants to tell us, the actual incline of the road. So now I'm going to angle it a bit this way and then switch back. So you can see this is already a very steep road over there. Let's just give it a switchback with an incline of, to get to here would be 5.5%. Let's try to keep it at 5. 5.1 is I'll just keep it at 5.3 and this contour line. Okay, and now to do a proper switchback, we need to level a pad here at the level of the road to allow us to turn on the straight pad. I already see here, if we go up to this contour line, we're above the 7% grade. So I'm just going to keep it climbing just to where these trees are. Let's level this pad here for that purpose, and now drop the brush down and slowly slope the pad of the road. This wouldn't normally be necessary in City Skylines 2, because the game has the cut mechanic that will cut into the hillside for you, but I just find it easier. It would just draw the roads far straighter and neater if I already do that. And from here I want to go up onto about here. We're going to switch back again. So it was about here, right? Let's just level the pad and see what our 4.8. This is less than I expected, but we're fine with that. It's a very steep turn. Let's see if we can make it just a tad prettier. Like that. With a 5% incline. That's good. We're gonna switch back again, probably twice to get up here. The base of this cliff over here is good enough. Huh, wrong tool. We're going to have to switch back to this road. Incline of 5.8%, 5.9. I'm going to put it like this to be closer to this side of the pad.
This is Second Moon Radio Classical.
Actually,
Unlike most modern music, classical has always been penned by someone.
this would be even better.
Using only their imagination. Through a silent, audible instrument. Now, please listen at full volume.
Let's try this too.
But let us not tarry. On to the next recipe.
Yeah, decent enough. I really don't like how these curves turn up over here. Maybe I'm just being a little finicky with the roads, but it's not a good curve. This is a better curve. Much better turning angle. So now you can see that if we drive a road straight up, we're going to get into the 16%, so I don't want to go there. Trying to keep it under 7, I think the middle of so the middle between these two larger contour lines would be best. This is probably the most challenging part of today's build, getting this road up here, but once this is done, we have no trouble setting up our city. And there's that nice fill mechanic going in. I sometimes find it strange how this game deals with roads. I think that's a bit better. Cannot keep the normal curve tool. I'm afraid I have no idea how to use this properly. And taking the road from here to the roundabout, you can see we're already at the desirable 3%, which is very nice. We're going to cut into the hillside a bit. That's understandable. And there is our switchback. I swear that each time I build this, it turns out different looking. I've did a couple of tests before, but I'm not disappointed by the result. What I'm going to do is just feather out the terrain a bit to make it look more natural. We're going to keep this as part of the hill there. Okay. Now we have water. For power, we're just going to connect the transformer to the outside world. And of course, before we start zoning, we're going to need a sewer. So, having played this before, I already know the flow of water. But as you can see, the water view doesn't like to display it now. And that's because we haven't yet started the simulation. But if we go into this view again and press play, we'll see the vectors starting to pop up, which is a neat little aspect of the game mechanic I'm delighted to discover. Still, this is going to be a very nice high-end residential area, probably on the side of the cliff here, overlooking the Valley of Dreams and Dreamfjord, like we're going to call this. On this other side, we can't see it yet because it's blocked. We have some very large area of agricultural land. And we're going to need to add some industry to our community. So to do that, we'll look at the air pollution view to see which way the currents are flowing. And as we can see, the air is being pushed this way across the mountains to this other fjord. I don't have a sense of east or west in this on this map thing. I think this is west. So then this would be the air would be flowing northeasterly across the mountains, which would mean that we would need to carefully place our industrial zone here, not too close to the fjord as to not overlap the agricultural land. We're going to start with a smaller zone, and luckily this area is rather flat, so we can very comfortably add a grid. I'll just take these contour lines and add a small grid here. That's going to be the start of our industrial zone. On the lower side of our grid, we're going to upgrade this road to a 4-lane road, which is going to bring our traffic into this area. So I'm not sure that's the... I think this is the one we want to upgrade actually. Because down here we're going to have our farms and not get that large amount of traffic. And this is just perfect because we can follow this permanent contour line to our main road then. As So we're going to take this and curve it in a little bit and just follow the contour line, the natural lay of the land. And over here, we want to go into this road at 90 degrees. And at a bit of roundabout, I assume this is going to be a heavily trafficked road. Just want to clean it up a bit. Right. I still don't like that curve, but I'll just let it be for now. Going back to this area. So here we have some rather flat land, which I will keep available for maybe a school that might go into this area. Here I want to do something special that we'll get to further into this episode. And then I would like to just add some more roads following the lay of the land. Basic layout of our starting city. Now let's get to zoning. Most of this is going to be low density residential. I will add just the occasional commercial in these places, just like a friendly neighborhood shop or something like that, where people can go for last minute groceries. This is going to be residential as well. And yeah, more low density residential. On these windy roads, there's not much else I feel comfortable zoning. But as I said, I will add the occasional small neighborhood store in, like these over here. But this is mostly going to be residential. I will keep from, for now I'll keep from zoning on this road up here. And if I think about it, I might just take these roads here back to offer more zoning opportunities there. We'll see why a bit later. Though I do wish they would all be the same size. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's try something else. I mean, it's a 7.5 grade. It's not bad. Okay. And I'm going to keep you just a tad lower. Like this. Yes, yes, that's what I want. It's just I'm looking at the size of this zoning up here, and I plan to do something with that, and I want it to be a bit larger. Continue dotting just little commercial in. We're going to keep this, so that's going to be industrial, right? This is our industrial area. But on the sides of it, we're just going to add a bit of commercial to buffer it from our residential neighborhood. So people won't have an issue with pollution and such. And yeah, this is our how our starting city would look like. Let's start the simulation and see what pops up. But just looking around, you know, I just love the models of these houses, and especially these ones. These are kind of boring. Usually I don't like simple utilitarian architecture. And now we've unlocked the next milestone, and we have our first signature building. How nice! Going to slow down the simulation a bit. I'd like to play on low speed while building roads and such, to allow myself time to react to problems which might pop up. First of all, we need healthcare. So we now have a clinic. Clinic is decently large building, which is going to need extensions in the future. And now I'm wondering if I shouldn't have left this road straight over here. Perhaps I'm going to go back on this road and straighten it out, which will of course mess up my entire zoning in this area, but yeah, this is fine. There we go. So we could add the clinic here, and this will cover all our city basically. Now to expand, the clinic does need space to add additional patient wings. It could do that back here if we give it enough room. And we can also add a landfill, which we're going to keep away for right now. The city will work fine without one. It will just import the services. And a cemetery. And for the cemetery, I would like to use this plot over here. So the cemetery needs relatively straight flat land. And before doing anything else, I would like to add it. It's going to need a road here on this side, right? I'm going to keep some distance away from the mountain,
This is a Second Moon Radio Classic.
because the cemetery has some add-ons that could be added, and I would like to add later. And for this part over here, I'd like to add a small grid Okay, and after all the finagling, I finally got the grid that I wanted for this area. That took a lot, didn't it? Let's just zone this in with medium density row housing. The problem is that this grid is not currently connected to the rest of the city, so yeah, we're going to have to do that. People are already complaining about lack of water and power. This is a good place for a connection. Right over there. Now we should have the needs of these people met. Of course, this is rather steep. I don't want to do that. So we're going to keep this disconnected. I'm going to connect the edge of the grid to this road here, which of course is going to ruin my zoning, because why not? I sometimes hate the mechanics in this game. The cemetery also needs a road. But so this is just going to be a frontage road. I mean, it does have parking. Let's upgrade it to an alley. Alley, or could just be a normal road. And we're going to have the main road coming into the cemetery from here. I'm wondering if I want to preserve this view line to what appears to be a chapel. This would look nice, right, coming onto this road, so I'm going to do that. And for that, I'm going to keep the 90 degrees and the guidelines, which are here. Yes. Though that's not the guideline I wanted to follow. Let's try this again. Disable guidelines. We're snapping here. Enable guidelines. That's the guideline I want. It's almost a 90.
Pending updates to our power grid, the city will be experiencing rolling blackouts. We urge the public to remain calm during these breaks in service and to follow the guidelines on the city's website on how to plan for these temporary events. This has been a local public service announcement.
And of course, while we were messing with the grid, we already have people waiting for a hearse.
Consider installing a low flush toilet, cut back on watering the lawn, and shower with a friend whenever possible. This has been a local public service announcement.
Now, wondering why these people are talking about the water shortage, because our water availability is like, what, 20 times what we need? Yeah, this side of the grid, we're going to add low density housing.
Sounds like we're the ones who will end up paying for it. Should we be worried?
I expect the residents would be more distressed if key services became unavailable.
Let's see if our natural resources. Oh, I need 2 more.
We'll be back after this. A housing shortage
So what we're going to do to keep people flowing through our city is continue this road.
One final question, Professor. Is the housing
Gonna keep it 90 degrees.
By certain metrics, perhaps yes, in the short term.
I like the sound of that.
But what we are discussing is the study of a statistical abstraction and its effect on the human.
Thank you, Professor.
It is a question of priority.
And I'm gonna keep this road flowing in this way into this intersection, and we'll upgrade this road coming through to 4 lanes. You know, this upgrade tool is really weird. Line this one up like that. Okay. Perfect. And because we already have one development point, I'm going to unlock roundabouts and add a slightly larger roundabout to this area to make the intersection look prettier, maybe. Yes, that's good. We need to fix our zoning, and I'm not sure why this guy is complaining. He's on the right path. People do want more industrial and commercial. So what I'm thinking of is adding a small commercial area over here. Like, I'm going to continue this 4-lane road into the industrial zone. Maybe that's the way to go. That would mean redeveloping this area over here. And I'm sorry for the folks that just build their houses over here. But sometimes things just have to give. Of course, it's just all bad city planning on my part. But this area wasn't plotted out before, so we had no way of knowing how the grids will connect. I'm going to keep from zoning residential there because I want commercial on this main road. Just low density commercial, not here though. And some unsure about industrial over there. I'm going to wait on that, but we may want to purchase some land up here. And these 3 plots are purchased for a very specific reason. Now, going on through here. So you have this main road coming in here, this other main road coming in here, and another one going this way. And we're going to have to upgrade our right away through the industrial area. People don't really like it, but they will adapt. Just going to continue grading out this area. Right to over here. I don't want to get on that hill. Right. Let's see if the grid mode helps us in any meaningful way here. Not at all. Oh, if we do it this way, it does. Okay, that's a pretty decent grid. And we've reached the next milestone. In the small village milestone, we now have access to education. And we have to think about where we put our schools. My first idea was to put the school over here. And you know, that would make it nicely visible from this cliffside, but it's not very practical. So we have one small elementary school, which kind of doesn't fit in this plot here. So I don't want to place it over here because it's going to need those extensions. Placing it on the main road, right next to this roundabout, would give decent coverage to the whole city and will allow us to add our extension wings. So well, now I'm going to have to move it. I wanted to add this clinic extension right over there, but it's bigger than I thought. So let's spend all our money on moving the newly built school just a tad bit further. How am I moving it to the same location? There we go. And to this other side, we're going to add a small playground for the kids. Okay, and now just fill in with this zone with low density residential. Here we might add some detailing later on the side of the school. So now that we have our school placed, we can think of finally filling in this area. I would like a road going this way. I think that's over there, which will allow our our clinic to be upgraded. And we're just gonna add some small commercial cluster here near the school and the clinic. Let's clean up the zoning over here.
To provide vital services for our residents. Isn't that going to be costly, Mr. Councilman?
Oh, well, quite frankly, yes. It is an additional expense, but the residents
There we go.
don't expect a certain level of services. We simply do not have the capacity to provide them within the city.
Sounds like we're the ones who will end up paying for it. Should we be worried?
I expect the residents would be more distressed if key services became unavailable. There quality of life is very important to me.
But service will not. We'll be back after.
Okay, just add some more housing. With that progression unlocked, we could now purchase some more development points, and we're going to go for parking areas, and you'll see why in a short while. But first, let's expand a bit to the, was it southeast? East. I think this is east. I don't have the day-night cycle turned on, so it would make it difficult to build at night. So I have no way of knowing where the sun is right now. But we don't have access to industries yet. We do have access to landfill which we are going to use. So looking at the way air pollution is pushed, we can see that the air goes above these mountains into this other fjord over here, which is nowhere next to us and nowhere near the unlockable. So we're just gonna use this small patch between the mountains to add a garbage dump there. This is not going to be used for anything else, relatively speaking, so I think we're fine. I'm going to slightly move the building. No, just leave it where it is. But we'll add the hazardous waste processing center, which adds more processing capability, and expand the area a bit, just to add a tad more storage to it. This of course will need a road with power and water. So what we'll end up doing is getting a small road that will follow the side of the mountain to our city. And we're going to connect to this road in our industry area. And while we're here, let's just continue upgrading this road to a 4-lane road all the way through. We're gonna add a small roundabout here. So not too small because the trucks need a nice turning radius. About yay big should suffice. Okay. That's it for the landfill. We still have lots of money left and this nice piece of land over here. And with this we're going to use to build our new high school. Now when building a high school, one thing that we need to keep an eye on is the terrain nearby, because the high school needs to support this large sports arena right next to it. So let's see what we can do in this regard. I'm going to add a stadium right over here. And this isn't too bad. We'll keep the simulation running. People will probably complain about not being able to reach the high school. But yeah, I'd like to just keep it running on slow speed while I'm building. Okay, let's just flatten this out a bit. And I'm going to transform this hill into something more naturally looking. I mean, you could imagine this being flatter on a wider scale and just slowly sloping into this hill. So we need a road right in front of the high school. Let's turn all the grid lines on so it can snap to the building itself. All the snap tos. Words, man. Words is just hard. What I'm going to do is add a bigger roundabout here as well. And this makes sense because we also have lots of trucks turning in here. And this is like almost a 90. Right? Going into the high school, so I'm going to do that. Now the people have access, and high school has services it can operate on. And up here, I'm going to just push the landscape a little bit inwards to this cliff, right till the edge of the stadium. Just adding some feather over there, and just we're going to add some zoning. Over here I like to follow the cliff face, just go on a bit on the limb to not let the high school get in our way too much. And we're just gonna follow the cliff face here until maybe someplace like that. Gonna need to add some more smoothing to this land. I can afford to take this road straight now. I'm probably going to do something like this, straight until here. Then coming in at 90. What I would like to do is leave a small area near the high school for a small park. I'm gonna take these down this way. And bring this road parallel to this one. I think that's our main grid through the area. Now you probably saw me fiddling with this in a time lapse. Let's just clean up the cliff a bit, make it more natural looking. And what we're going to do in this area is come in with our medium density housing. but we're going to do this in a very particular way. So I'm not gonna fully zone these. I will add certain buildings with gaps between them, and this is because, so just in real life you don't want your buildings to be too close to one another, so the neighbor looks out the window and just sees your apartment. We want a little spacing between them. And we're going to provide that spacing by not fully zoning this area. And you'll see that the models that pop up in here are just beautiful buildings. I simply adore them. Over here we're going to do, let's do 2x4. We have the space for 2x4. Let's see how those look like. It didn't zone 2x4 in the test runs. And this is going to be a 3x4. Okay. And now, because these people live in dense houses, they're going to need access to parking. And we're going to go to our newly unlocked parking lots, and I'm just going to add a large parking lot here, which is going to be the parking lot for this entire area. Alright, people need a place to keep their cars, or I think I'm better off with going with 2 medium parking lots, so I'll put one here and one on this side. Yes, I think this is better. This is just to keep things spread out. We don't want all the people to just swarm this one single area for parking. I'm gonna put it here because I don't like how the game plays the zoning over there. And would you look at that? Look how nicely it filled in the sides. This is beautiful. It's just beautiful. And now let's add some more medium density housing. Coming with this road over here, we do have a lot of dead space in the middle, but that's just fine. We're just going to leave it like this with more green space for the people to enjoy. It's nice having a small neighborhood park where they could go for a walk or run, do some exercises. I'll keep doing that. And I think that. And that. Okay. And on this side, just going to go with 3x2s. This was my original plan and why I fiddled with this grid for so long. And I'm just going to add them in a checkered pattern. And then provide a nice path through the middle. These are going to be paths which just go up to the main road. Now, granted, people living here are going to have to walk a long way to their car, but there's also on-street parking over here. We're probably going to turn off on-street parking on these roads and keep them, just add some beautification there, trees and stuff.
Tim is with us in the studio today.
I'll disown this a bit.
Outside.
Like to keep this small area as a park.
Isn't that going to be costly, Mr. Councilman?
And
Well,
speaking
quite
of
frankly,
parks,
yes, it is an additional expense, but the
oh,
revenue
we
comes
don't
from
have that unlocked
reliable
yet.
services. We simply do not have
We
the
do
capacity to
have
provide them within the city.
Sounds like
road
we're the ones
services.
who will end up paying for it. Should we be worried?
And
I
we should be
expect
adding that.
customers would be more distressed if key services became unavailable. Their quality
I
of life
think a
very
good
worsened.
place
But so
where we could put road services is on a side road right next to the industrial area. And as far as I can recall, this building doesn't have any add-ons that goes outside the footprint of the building, so we should be fine there. Now, this being a flat area right over here on this basin is going to be a good place to put our rail yard when we get to that. I don't want to, we don't even have transportation unlocked, but I don't want to go into that right now. Waiting times for ambulances, eh? And the clinic isn't that far away. This shouldn't be a problem. I'll try to see if we can speed things up by adding a shortcut through here. This is just a terrible curve. We will need to add some more land here. Let's see what the grade would be. It's 4%, it's not that bad actually. Let's try to grade this out. Or go back. Instead of spending a huge amount of money to create the hill, why don't we just try to follow the hill? It's a grade of 14%. Yeah, that's never gonna work out. I'll just have to add the valley back in and try to smooth it out a bit. So no way could get from here to here in a decent slope. But now, since we added all the paths up here and taking care of our services, let's just go for some landscaping in the area. And for everyone watching, this is probably going to be a time lapse. I'm going to look at what trees are native here. So we have spruce, pine, and beech, and try to add some more of these. And with that out of the way, why doesn't this neighborhood just look lovely? Perhaps we shall expand a bit here on the cliffside in the future. Perhaps. The grades there are... It is doable. In fact, let me just see if I could simply go for it. And I think for these additional buildings here, we're going to need just another parking lot. I'm going to go the smaller parking lot. I think these are a tad too close for my taste. I'm wondering if I should let them be. I'll let them be for now. There we go. Now, while we let this build, let us focus our attention on industry, which just became available. So now we have only livestock farming available. With the next milestone, we're going to have grain and forestry. But for now, we're going to focus on livestock farming, which will add ways away from the city, somewhere out here, because we know we're gonna grow, and I don't want to have to rip out the farms that often. So in order to achieve this, I'm just going to purchase these 3 tiles. And take our farming a bit away from the landfill. I don't want it to be that close to the landfill, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So yeah, the farm's going to be on top of this hill. And I put it up here because there's a road nearby and I could just connect to here and have the farm up and running. Yeah, sure. And here we go. That's our livestock farm. Now what we still have to add to our community is the population mansion, which I think we're going to expand a bit this neighborhood here and add this mansion in a place with a view, because this guy being, you know, probably famous and having some cash could afford building his house here. What I'm going to do is flatten off just a small piece of land here near this mountain, and see if the mansion fits here. Just gonna turn the snapping off so I can see how to orient it. There's the road. Put the house here. It's going to have road access. It's just on the side of the cliff face here. I actually do want to remove it for now and bring the land just a bit higher to this level. There, yeah, it still needs the road in that spot. So now we could smooth out the rest of this valley. I'm gonna do this for the rest of this cliffside as well, because I want to add some more housing over here. But for now, just a road from this house to here is all I need. And in this case, I'm going to have to live with a 10% gradient. The house should have all the utility it needs. So I'm just going to bring another road from the cliffside to this house. And you see now it starts complaining about not having sufficient utilities, so we're gonna do that. Okay, now my guy probably wouldn't like a bunch of other people living next to him, but we don't want to have a cul-de-sac here. So just gonna add some housing here. We can no, that's wrong. Here we can live with large houses, so we're gonna do low-level housing, not condos.
What? Oh!
Low-density housing. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll turn out. They're for the brown sedan projects.
I should have said that for that fancy. Please, don't steal my car. I mean, the old Hornbuckle mobile, please. Oh, good. Here they are. Well, never mind then. Thank you.
Okay.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when business is doing well, that floats our boat.
There's no sinking this boat, Glenda.
A housing shortage is driving up prices in the area.
That's right, Glenda. But apparently that's not all good news. We're joined today by an expert guest, Professor Nutbuck.
Welcome, Professor. So a housing shortage is bad for people trying to move here, right?
Humans are programmed to desire certain representations within ideological structures, which are entirely apart from the actual rewards enjoyed. For example,
So this thing isn't sending out that many ambulances,
certain metrics, perhaps, yes,
and there's no traffic in the city.
But what we are discussing
I
is
wonder
the
where
statistical
all these
abstract
troubles are coming
and
from.
its effect on the human.
Thank you, Professor.
It is a question of priority.
Okay, and now that we have received another signature building, I think we could add it right here. I mean, if it fits. I don't think it does. Next door high school. Yeah, it fits. And I think it just fits in marvelously. And with that, we're up to Grand Village. I like the look of that over here. Okay. And with the latest level upgrade to Grand Village, we're going to add some more farming. So grain farming, if we look at our production, we do have a lot of deficit in our grain farming. Because I assume the livestock farm requires grain. So we will need to add a large farm to cover our need. And now I feel a bit weird about zoning here. This is agricultural land, and I have this main road going through it. Kind of hard to take out commercial buildings now for agriculture. That's not very realistic. So what we need to do is just move our farm just a bit away from all of this road. See, this is why I would like to have the overview for the natural resources right up the start, so you know how to plan the city. And I'm a bit disappointed in Colossal Order for not doing that, because I have no way of knowing that. So I roughly understood the general area where this resource is, but I have no way of knowing where precisely it is. I wouldn't have built this over here. I wouldn't have built this main road over here if I had this information right at the start of the build. I'm going to keep it at this size for now, because in the future we will also need to add cotton for textiles and vegetable farm, and we don't really have any other agricultural areas nearby. So we have this one here, this one here, this one here. This is the largest. I think a farming village over here would make sense in the future. And I have something planned for this general vicinity, but that is very long ways away. Next, I'm going to purchase these 3 tiles here, and with these unlocked, we're going to build a forestry industry on top of these hills. Of course, we could always add more trees up here, just to fill in the general area. Okay, I want to see where the road access is. Something I don't like about these buildings is when you zoom out to see the general area, you have no idea where the road is. But yeah. Going to draw a rough road down here, and then something that's going to go down this hill. And meet this highway on an angle. And here I'll add a small roundabout so people don't get too confused about this. Oh, and because this is a highway, we are going to need to add power and water connections. So here we go. Yeah, that should do the trick. And what I don't like is, I mean, I get this is supposed to be a visual delimitation between what's included and what's not in the forestry area, but this texture is just, I don't know, ugly. It looks like the grass is dying out over here. I really don't like that. But yeah, folks, this is it for now. Yeah, so apparently we're not done yet because I've missed a milestone, and apparently now we have high crime in our city. So we just need to add a police station, which I think would fit nicely over so on this road, which connects our new district to the general city. And there's one area which is not finished, namely my row housing district. I'm just going to finish up zoning here, and that should finish this area. And now for some landscaping. And behind these buildings I'm just going to add a few chestnut trees. Okay, now we're truly finished. Thank you for joining me at the start of this journey. This has been Memory of a Dream, building the city of Dreamveil. I bid you farewell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.